Alright, so I know I just dropped a video about Sonic Unleashed like 21 days ago as of recording this, but I haven't been posting at all, so I don't know, I just felt like posting something, man. It's been too long. I thought, you know what, maybe I should just get something done and see how it turns out. I don't know. Cause I've been lazy, bro. Like Christmas break has just gone past. Like I'm back in school now, and I had like 2 weeks off of school, and I just didn't make anything. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just try to get back into the swing of things. But anyway, today's video is about the Werehog, everyone's favorite gimmick in the Sonic series. And you know what? I think that people hate on it way too much. So what I was gonna do to begin with was like read up like a couple of points off of my notes and like kind of because okay, so basically I did research, like I did a bit of research, and I basically wrote down a bunch of criticisms that I see people have on Sonic Unleashed and the Werehog gameplay, and I was like, okay, let me just read off of these and I guess kind of talk about them. But I can't be asked to get my notes up right now, so you know what, I'm just gonna have to think of things off the dome. Alright, so one of the complaints I see a lot is the battle music and how repetitive it is. So obviously for me, this isn't one of those things that I really feel like I need to complain about, because when I did my playthrough on Unleashed, I had the audio off the whole time just because of the way my setup worked. But when I play Unleashed in my own time, hearing that battle music, I don't know. I don't personally. I don't think it's that bad. Like I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. Like I know that it would have made sense for them to have made like multiple soundtracks, or they could have done like a Zelda, to where in Breath of the Wild how like the battle music is the same, but it changes based off how many enemies are around. Like for example, if you're fighting a Lionel in Breath of the Wild, the music will be, it will have all the instruments in it. But if you're fighting a Choo Choo or a Bokoblin, then it's a lot more mild. I don't know how to explain it, but if you've played Breath of the Wild, then you probably know what I'm talking about. Personally, I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I do understand the criticism of, they should have had different tracks, multiple battle themes, but in regards to the actual song itself and how repetitive it is, bro, I think people just exaggerate about that way too much. Like it's not so annoying to the point where it's like, eardrum bursting. Like it's not gonna make me cry every time I hear it because I hear it so much. Like no, genuinely, for me, I've played this game so much in my own time, but I just feel like it's not that noticeable. I don't know. Anyway, next thing that I can think of is probably the platforming. So this is one thing I definitely spoke about during my playthrough. I think it was maybe like my second episode or whatever. I think that's when I first played as the Werehog. But yeah, the Werehog feels kind of slippery at first. I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely a valid complaint that people have, because I don't know, it's just there's a lot of deaths, especially in like, Dragon Road, Skyscraper, Scamper. There's just so many deaths that you'll have to where it feels like it was just out of your control. Because, the Werehog, I don't know, sometimes it feels like you just don't have full control over him. And I probably have some Dragon Road gameplay in the background or something, but in Skyscraper, Scamper, there's so many tightrope sections to where it's like genuinely frustrating, because if you've played Empire City Night, then you know that a lot of these sections have tightropes where there's like spikes on the side, and obviously if you fall off, then you're dead. It's instant death. But because the Werehog is so like sluggish almost, it feels strange, because it feels like you can't accurately walk in a straight line in sections like that. I don't know how to describe it. But it's kind of odd having to, go from a stage with a lot more leniency, I guess, like Missouri Night, to something like Skyscraper Scamper so fast. Or a stage like Arid Sands Night, which barely had any platforming at all. Now that, if I recall correctly, that there actually wasn't that much platforming in that. But yeah, I don't know, it just feels too contrasting to have to go from a stage like Arid Sands to Empire City when the Werehog is just so sluggish. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but I always felt like that, not even just at the beginning of the game, but just throughout the game as a whole. I feel like the Werehog is kind of inaccurate to control in a way. I haven't played the game in a few days, so maybe I'm not recalling things accurately, but I feel like he's just too imprecise, that's the word. He feels too imprecise. Okay, one other thing, I think the way that they introduce... I was gonna move on to the next topic, but yeah, I just remembered one thing. I think the way they introduce Werehog mechanics is really, really frustrating to deal with. Because I've spoken about this so many times, but the lack of checkpoints in the Werehog stages is so annoying, bro. And, you know, I know in Dragon Road, when I first played that stage, during my playthrough, I was getting really annoyed because they introduced these kind of like slingshot obstacles or whatever, and those were just so annoying to learn how to do because you have to spam it, but then you also have to so you have to basically spam B or circle to, you know, launch, and then you have to be prepared for whatever's coming next because it literally just launches you into the sky. It doesn't put you on a platform or whatever, so you have to be prepared for whatever's gonna come next. And I feel like that was so annoying because I don't know, maybe it's because I wasn't hearing the question marks, because having played Sonic games for so long, I've really just started to tune out the question marks and I guess the Omochao tips, whatever. So I feel like maybe I was missing something, like missing help that I could have received, but I don't know, I feel like if you miss those question marks, bro, in fact, nah, maybe that's not a valid complaint, because if I'm missing the question marks, then that's really my fault. Like, if they laid the tip out for you on the stage, then you ignore it, is it really their fault? But I don't know, I just felt like it was really annoying to deal with. Okay, so, one thing that I hear a lot of people talking about is how much of the game the Werehog actually takes up, because basically, you know, for every region there is one mandatory day stage and one mandatory night stage, not including bosses obviously. But yeah, so I hear a lot of people talking about how much time the Werehog stages actually, you know, take up, and I feel like, yeah, it was a bold move. Sega made a bold move. Sonic Team made an extremely bold move doing what they did, to where, you know, this was the first 3D boost game, right? And they decided to add such an experimental gimmick, I feel like. And I'm definitely not complaining, I love the Werehog. But I don't know, I just feel like, why would they, I don't know, man. Because I hear a lot of people talking about how, you know, the Werehog could have easily been replaced by like Knuckles or something. But one thing you have to understand is that at the time, by the way, this game came out in 2008, right? So at the time, they were getting a lot of flack for including Sonic's friends into the game because, you know, Sonic 06 had just come out 2 years prior. So, I don't know, I feel like at the time, yeah, it probably was the best decision. Because, I mean, it's not like they weren't taking criticism. It's like, you know, Sonic fans were complaining. People didn't like 06, people hated 06. So, for them to make a change like that, obviously now it seems like kind of iffy, but back then I think, yeah, that was the right choice. But at the same time, I do agree with the people that say like the Werehog could have easily been replaced by Knuckles or something like that. I mean, we do have Tails in the game, we do have Amy. It's not that, you know, we didn't want, well, I don't know why I'm saying we, I wasn't even born when 06 came out, but it's not that Sonic fans didn't want Sonic's friends to be involved anymore. It's just that they didn't like the way they were portrayed, I guess. At least that's the way I see it. Although whenever I watch 06 gameplay, because okay, the thing about me is that I was always obsessed with like Sonic games that I never got to play, like Unleashed and 06, right? I was relatively obsessed with 06, I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger. Even though I know so many people said such bad things about it. I'm not gonna lie, I always thought that Sonic's Friends gameplay looked cool, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But like, I think that's the thing. People don't necessarily hate the gameplay. Well, no, people don't necessarily hate the idea of the gameplay, they just hate the way it was done. Not the way it was portrayed, but the way it was actually executed. That's the word, the way it was executed. Because we all know how many bugs 06 had, and, you know, unfinished animations and things like that. But, you know, personally, I think you have to commend them for adding so many different movesets and, you know, thinking of different gameplay styles for so many characters. How many characters was it in 06? It was like, I believe it was 9. I could be wrong. But I know there was a lot of characters in 06. Yeah, I don't know. I understand both sides of the coin for that criticism, saying that he can easily be replaced by Sonic's friends. Because high-key he could, but this was 2008, and I don't think that would have been a good move if they did that. Although, you know, now, I think that it's a lot more acceptable because, you know, Frontiers, what was the final patch called? New Horizons or Final Horizons? I don't even remember. But the final patch of Frontiers, you know, included Sonic, Knuckles, Amy, and Tails. And that ended up being, you know, the highest grossing 3D boost game of all time. So, yeah, it's not like we hate Sonic's friends as a whole or anything like that. It's just that after 06, you know, I'm assuming that people must have lost trust or whatever. But anyway, I've been speaking long enough. You know what, I think I'm gonna just end off the video here because I can't think of any other points. Yeah, it's been like 21 days since I posted my last video. So, you know, I just felt like making something, I'm not gonna lie. This is completely unscripted. I just wanted to talk, no cap, because, you know, miss making videos. Because like, I enjoy making videos, but I enjoy posting, I'm not gonna lie. Even if nobody sees these, I really do enjoy posting. But I need to think of what I'm gonna do, man. I don't know how I'm gonna handle this channel, because I need to finish Mario Wonder, I need to finish Shadow Generations. I still haven't finished that game, not even in my own time. Which is crazy, man. I don't know. Anyway, what did you guys get for Christmas, man? Let me know down below.